Percy studio. This is our first episode of this year, and today we have the honor to invite Ms. Shumela Nkabele to be our guest speaker. Nice to meet you, Ms. Shumela.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so Shumela, yeah, as we can see, over the past few decades, especially in the last 10 years, the human society has witnessed many profound changes which has greatly changed our life, both physically and psychologically. So I think in today's TV shows or online content, we may never fail to find a word, change or development. So in other words, change or development has become a very fashionable word of our times. So can we discuss a little bit about the concept of development? So my first question for you is, what is your understanding of, let's say, the concept of development? Yeah.
Well, I think it's quite a broad term, but largely I would say when I think of development, I am thinking about people's quality of life improving, and that could include different aspects. So it could be from an economic perspective, an educational perspective, or also just generally a social perspective. So as long as we see a holistic improvement in the quality of life of the people, essentially.
Okay, so as you have mentioned, from your point of view, the thing that left you with deep impression is the improvement of people's life, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what I think of when I think of development.
Yeah, and also for me it's the same because I guess maybe you have watched some short videos on some video platforms like YouTube, TikTok, or WhatsApp. So let's say, take my country as example, China, People's Republic of China, has also experienced profound changes, improvement over the past few decades. We have, for example, recently we have amazed the world by unveiling the DeepSeek, the AI app, and also some very interesting apps like TikTok, right? So for our ordinary Chinese, our daily life has also been, let's say, improved. Especially we have enjoyed better transportation and better education, and also improved the medical care, etc. So, but let's say can we make our view more broader? For example, let's say when it comes to your country, let's say South Africa, Republic of South Africa, from your observation, what is the biggest, let's say, development happened in recent decade, or just, or let me put it this way, what development left you with deep impression in South Africa?
Honestly?
Yeah, honestly.
Well, generally development in South Africa has been slow, right? And this is really because we have quite a complex history of exclusion of a large group of people. But this is not to say it hasn't, it's been non-existent, right? Obviously, ideally, I would still like to see better development in our country. But in the past 10 years, I can't really pinpoint and say there's one element sort of stood out. But to be fair, Maybe I'm not in a field where there's been significant changes or development, right? I know things are happening in the science, technology, and engineering and medicine areas. So that's a good thing. For instance, there is a professor at Rhodes University who got incredible funding to do research around cancer. So I think that's incredible. But other than that, I can't really think of a specific thing in mind that I would say in the past 10 years, this has been amazing development in the country.
So can I understand in this way? So you mean, just from your perspective, South Africa, or let's say RSA, has not undergone profound change in the field of your observation, right?
In linguistics in the past 10 years, so that's the field I'm in, I don't think we've undergone very dramatic change or development. I do think though, what we've seen in the past 10 years is more interest around multi-languages by our own scholars and our own students. So that has been a great development, right?
Yeah.
That people are interested in studying their multi-languages, or their first languages rather, and the focus on multi-languages in the country. We are also seeing people start to, well not start to, but yeah, in the past 10 years, we're seeing a lot more people trying to create softwares, technologies that work with multi-languages, because we know they are structurally different from English, so building corpora around multi-languages and tools around and analyzing this corpora. So I think in the past 10 years, I would say that's an area that has grown in linguistics, and people have shown a lot of interest in it.
Okay. Given what you said, so can we discuss a little bit about, let's say, your personal development in the. So do you think in recent few years you have achieved your full potential, or you think maybe you have more potential to achieve? And furthermore, what is your idea on the relationship between your personal development and the development of your country? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, for starters, I obviously don't think I reached my full potential just yet. So there's definitely a lot of room to grow in that area. And then when I think about my personal development linked to my national development, it does sometimes feel, like you're a drop in the ocean when you're thinking of things on a bigger scale. But I would say that ideally for me, when I think about my career and national development, I would say ideally would be producing more knowledge around our multi languages, right? Creating resources that students can instantly go to have an understanding of a particular structure in is a Sotho or is a Zulu. So I would say for me that would be my contribution to my national development, ensuring that we study our languages and we publish more works around them and resources that can educate students and learners.
Since you have mentioned that you dedicated to your career and your field of research so that you can make some contributions maybe to the development of your nation. So when I heard this, I just curious. Have you, let's say, heard any, or have you known some news or messages about China's development, or let's say the development of Chinese people's life, etc.?
I mean, I think a lot of people know that China is a powerhouse. So
powerhouse in which respects? I'm curious.
No, when we think about technology, when we think about a lot of innovation, so in the areas of science, technology, STEM, all of that, you do think about China. When you think about economic power, you also think of China. So I think roughly those are the areas that I've sort of heard a lot of things about. And I think also the education system. You definitely hear a lot about China's education system and how it's far ahead a lot of countries. So it is quite, with those areas that I know of, China's development seems to be quite far ahead in my understanding.
From my personal experience, my hometown, China, has experienced profound changes in many areas, especially in education. Take myself as an example. Let's say I came here thanks to the scholarship of the CSC of China. So actually, our country has poured a lot of resources into the field of education. Let's say, in other words, my country, China, highlights the development of education. So it called that kind of effort as the modernization of education. So let's say, from my point of view, just take myself as example. I think thanks to the development of the nation, me as a single person, or as a not single person, I mean ordinary person, I benefit a lot from the profound development of this country. And I think maybe we can put it this way: the development of my country contributes the further development of myself, and in turn, my personal development, maybe in the future can, let's say, facilitate the development of my nation. So, just as our nation highlight that we are dedicated to the development, let's say, all of the development of the nation and the people. So, for us, we think our country, let's say, followed a people-centered development approach. So, I'm curious, do you have any ideas about people-centered development approach, or do you like, or do you looking forward to that kind of?
I mean, I won't lie, I haven't heard the term before, but I do think I understand what it means. And I think, it makes sense, because the citizens of a country do make up what we consider as being developed. So if your citizens are uneducated, they are not well taken care of, so there's no development to support them in terms of socially or even economically, then that will affect the overall country. So putting the people first is quite important, because then that helps grow the country in different aspects as well.
I agree with you. So, just as you said, the citizen is an important part of the nation. So, let's say the development of every single citizen holds the key to the development of the whole, let's say, or the entire nation. So, thank you for today's interview.
It was a complete pleasure.